This is Tom Loy with Blue and Gold Illustrated here with Equanimeous St. Brown, the 4-star wide receiver out of Anaheim, Servite High School. All right, man, let's talk about it. You were in South Bend yesterday, man, for the first time. How was it?
It was a great time. It was what I expected and more. They showed me around the campus, a lot of tradition, a lot of culture, so really nice people, great staff, great players, so it's a good time.
Okay. Now, talk about your time with Brian Kelly, man. What was his pitch to you about why he wants you to come play for Notre Dame?
First, he said, he's happy that I came there because you won't know what Notre Dame is about unless you go there. They could tell you as much as they want, but until you visit, you won't truly know. So, and he wants me to come there and be a playmaker for him. Play inside, outside receiver, and be a bad matchup for defenses.
And they're not just looking at you to play outside, right? Talk about how they're trying to use you at the next level.
They want me, to move me inside and outside to get a bad matchup against linebackers or some smaller guys. To get the ball in my hands as many times as possible.
And your primary recruiter at Notre Dame?
Elliott.
Talk about Elliott. He's a pretty popular guy amongst the players and the recruits. Talk about your relationship with him and what appeals to you about him.
He's really friendly. He likes to talk about Notre Dame. He only talks about themselves. He doesn't talk about other schools. So, we have a good connection on Twitter. We keep DMing. I call him every now and then. So it's a great relationship.
And what's next for Notre Dame? When do you think is the next time you're going to be back on campus?
I think it's when they play Stanford. I'm going to be back for an official.
Okay. Now you were joined. Who all joined you on the trip?
Me, my two younger brothers, Osiris and Amon-Ra, and then my dad.
And what was their opinion of Notre Dame and their trip and their first time on campus?
Oh, the same as mine, we didn't know what to expect, so we walked in there, open eyes, and we had a great experience.
I know you were pretty happy with getting to talk to the academic counselor, Adam Sargent. Talk about that and that experience.
Oh, he's a great dude, he's a professional. He knows what he's doing. He had a great sales pitch, talking about what he could do, how he helps athletes. So, yeah.
What was probably your favorite part of the trip?
Probably hanging out with Malik, after the trip was kind of done, spend time in the dorm room with the players and seeing what it was about.
And who all did you get to spend some time with that night?
Malik, the quarterback, and then Max, safety.
Field, okay. And then what's next for you the rest of the summer, man? What kind of trips are you going to take in unofficials?
I don't think I have anything planned yet for the rest of the summer. Made my trip out here. Got to visit some schools further away from home, so I think I might just go to the opening and then take it from there.
Talk about the experience. You get to go. You get to go to the opening in Beaverton, Oregon, and play amongst the best of the best, man.
It's going to be another experience like the Rivals 100. So I just want to expect, go against the best of the best and have a great time.
When are you going to make a decision? When do you want to narrow things down and actually end your recruitment?
I think it's after my senior season. I think I'm going to make a decision.
All right. And you ready to name a leader yet?
No.
No? Who are some of the schools that are kind of maybe exceeding a little bit above the rest of them right now, or just some of the schools that have been really coming after you, making you a priority?
I wouldn't say one's the top of the other, but there's a bunch of schools coming at me hard. I took visits to Northwestern Illinois, Notre Dame, SC, Stanford, UCLA, so I got to see a lot of campuses, a lot of schools, so I'm pretty interested in many of my schools.
Who are some of the coaches you have the best relationships with?
I have a great relationship with Coach Shaw, Coach Elliott, Coach T. Martin, Coach Yarbles, and Coach Mike Bellamy, and many others.
Okay. All right, this is Tom Loy with Equanimeous St. Brown. Thanks for taking your time, man. Appreciate it.
No problem.